Welcome, artists of all types, to the last day of the Artist Bootcamp for Beginners. Glancing at the schedule today, yes, today is February 28th, the 28th day of this 28th drawing extravaganza. So let's get started. So we always start with shapes. We start a new layer. We hit the B for the brush tool right into our workout set. This is exciting. Yes, we are all over the road today, but we're excited to be here. I can't believe it. The final day of drawing. I can't believe it, but we set out to do a job, and we're going to complete the job. So let's keep going. Get that heart rate up. Get those art skills in practice. We're doing it. We're flying. Yes. We're on the path. We're on the path. Hey, that's pretty good. We'll chalk it up to beginner's luck. Now that we've done 2D shapes, let's do some 3D. A new layer. And let's go. Whoop. There we go. It doesn't matter how bad they can get. Because if we wanted perfection, we could have used Photoshop's natural systems to do that. But we're working on our hand skills. We're working on our eye skills. Things that will aid us in the future. I once heard somebody say that they don't care about the programs or, AI or whatnot, because the skills stay here. Programs can come and go, but the skills, things that you worked hard for, will always be there for you. That's why I'm not too worried about AI and all that stuff. It's supposed to help us be better. But the skills, the hard-won skills, that's what really matters. Come on, Trey, come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Wonky, but still, we try. And that was 3D shapes. And we move on. Of course, we have the skeleton, Horatio. Well, that's the skull I named Horatio. So we have the cranium. We have the eyebrow ridge, comes out, comes in, and goes around the cheekbone, coming into the upper teeth. We have the orbital bone, right? Here is your eye socket where your eye resides. The orbital bone is on the side, comes down and into the cranium proper. And this part is the cheekbone. Coming down where your teeth are is where your mouth would be. Your mandible is held on or held to your skull proper by powerful muscles. So we have the eye socket, the nose bone, right, comes out a little bit, and the nasal cavity is here where cartilage would be. So your nose could come out like this. The cartilage. Right, and that would be your nose. But without it, it's just the nasal cavity. Let's not forget our other eye socket. And this is the side plane. Whoosh. It comes up around the eye, comes around the cheekbone, and down to your chin. If the light is here, right, hitting you on the forehead, this would be lit, and this less so, and the back even less so. And that is the skull. Next up, we have head. My looking 3/4 off to my right, screen left. So once again, new layer, cranium, eyebrow ridge comes out, comes back in, around over the cheekbone, cheekage, chin. My mandible is attached to my skull proper by muscles that help me eat donuts. The lower part of my nose and my eye line is between that are my ears. All right, here's my outline, the eyebrow ridge, my hairline, the side plane, swooshy swoosh, around the orbital bone, see that? Around the cheekbone, coming towards the chin. This is a slight. Come around. Yeah. So we have planes, right? Front facing plane, side plane, side plane. The back plane is unseen. All right. Moving on to hands. So let's fade this back. V4 for 40% opacity. New layer. And of course, let's do the box that we can see on top. So there's a side plane here of the box. I can see. It's modified box, but we can see it. That is palm side, top side, where the fingers would radiate off of. So let's knock that back. Eraser, 40% erasing power. Now we just kick that back. It has served its purpose. We want just a little bit of it. So let's draw it proper. B, the palm, coming up. All right, we have my index finger slightly curled. Curls, curls, curls. There's a little space in between. Right, it can be great or small. These two fingers seem the closest together. So again, straight into a curve, 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 curve. We can't see the edge of this one, but it extends off. Curve, curve, curve. And the pinky. again, slight curve, slight curve, slight curve. And we can't forget the thumb. So swoosh, down, knuckle, and around. Here's the fingernail. These nails, just to help give indications of position, finger position. There are creases, so you can move your hand in various positions. Swoop, 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 swoop. And of course the hand is attached to my forearm. Forearm, which is attached to my upper arm. And that is the hand. All right. Next up. And here we go. We got that mannequin. We'll make a new layer. So we have a circle for the main part of the head. The cranium. We can extend that down to make an oval shape. This between the top and the chin, the top of the head and the chin, approximately in the middle is the eye line. Just above that is the brow ridge. Between the eye line and the chin is approximately the nose. And between the nose and the chin is approximately the mouth. A side plane, so that we know front side, side, other side. We have the hairline near the top of the head. And we'll give an indication as to the way he's facing his head direction. There's a neck, of course. Of course. So let's, for the rib cage, we'll do a box. We see a slight side plane of that box. Right, this is the shoulder. The hips have a slight tilt. So shoulder tilt, hip tilt, the boxy box. We have the hip tilt, so the hip box is slightly at an angle. There's some slight side plane. He has a spine, right? And the sternum indicates body proper positioning. And in this case, he's looking and his body is in the same direction. So we do circles for joints, shoulder joints, elbow joints, wrist joints. We have knee joints, ankle joints. And we connect those joints by cylinders. Cylinders, cylinders, cylinders. Cylinders, cylinders, cylinders. Cylinders, the feet. And the way I remember the feet is there's a heel, there's an arch, there's the foot pad with the toes. So heel, arch, foot pad with toes. And hand is the simple box. Simple box with the fingers, and that is the mannequin. All right, so let's go over the muscles. Muscly muscles. We have the trapezius. The trapezius, neck and shoulders. It goes into a diamond shape. The deltoid for the shoulder, attached with the clavicle and the humerus bone up top. Pectoralis, coming along the clavicle, down the sternum, across the ribs, and inserting into the upper humerus bone. From the back to the front, we have the tricep muscle on the back of the arm, brachialis on the side, and the bicep on the front of the upper arm. We have the external obliques, which are your love handles. Right, they come up on the side. And also the latissimus dorsi, also along the back and side. We have the rectus abdominis, right, from your lower rib cage. Your belly button is defines where the upper part is from the lower rectus abdominis. Of the arm, the forearm, we have the brachioradialis, coming from the lower outside humerus bone, your arm bone, coming from the outside to the inside. We have extensors and flexors, muscles that help you extend and flex your fingers and move your hand. We have that gracilis, which is an inside thigh muscle. And the pelvic bone, upper inside thigh, inside thigh. Adductor longus is coming from the inner thigh towards the middle of your thigh. The sartorius from the hip bone, coming across inside towards the inside of your knee. We have the rectus femoris. It's a large muscle on the middle of your thigh. The vastus lateralis on the outside of your thigh. Gastrocnemius, your calf muscle, on the inside of your lower leg. We have the patella bone, which is your kneecap, and the patellar bone has the patellar tendon that comes from your kneecap, goes down towards the ankle. Next to the patellar tendon is the anterior tibialis. On the outside of the lower leg is the fibularis longus, also known as the peroneus. So you got the tib-fib, tibialis, fibularis. We have the extensor digitorum longus between the fibularis longus and the anterior tibialis right here. Now let's map all this to our mannequin. So new layer. We'll change the color to a nice red, a meaty red. So we have the trapezius, both sides, and it would come like that along the back. So we'll make this shape. We have the pectoralis along the clavicle, sternum, along the rib cage, and into your upper arm, which is the humerus bone. But it's not funny when you hit it. We have the deltoid, which is your shoulder muscle. Shoulder muscle. Deltoid. I forgot the pectoralis, clavicle, sternum, across the rib cage, up and in. From the front to the back, we have the bicep on the front, the brachialis on the side, and the tricep on the back. So again, from the back to the front, tricep, brachialis, bicep. We have the brachioradialis coming from the outside of your forearm, from the lower humerus bone at about your elbow, outside towards the inside, outside towards the inside, again outside towards the inside of your forearm, outside towards the inside. You have extensors, you have flexors, extensors, and flexors. A lot of bundled muscles that help you move your fingers, extend them, flex them, and your hand. We have the rectus abdominis. Rectus abdominis. Upper and lower, separated approximately by the belly button, where your 6-pack, 4-pack, or 2-pack reside, if you're so inclined. We have the external obliques, the love handles, because I love donuts. And we have the latissimus dorsi. Much of it is on the back, but also approximately on the side. We have the thigh, upper thigh, gracilis, the gracilis of the upper thigh. Adductor longus, coming towards the middle of your thigh. We have the sartorius from the outside of your hip, coming towards the inside, towards your knee. Outer hip to the inside knee. Outer hip, inside knee. Outer hip. And we have the patella, which is your kneecap, and the patellar tendon coming down towards your ankle. Whoa, hold up. We got the rectus femoris, which is in the middle of your thigh, a large muscle on the middle of your thigh. The vastus lateralis on this side, outer side of your thigh. We have the anterior tibialis right next to your patellar tendon on the outside side of your lower leg. We have the gastrocnemius. Just call it the gastrocnemius, which is your calf muscle. On the inside of your lower leg, we have the fibularis longus, also known as the peroneus, on the outside of your lower leg. Fibularis longus. And between the fibularis longus and the anterior tibialis is the extensor digitorum longus. Extensor digitorum longus. And those are the muscles of the body. Let's V 40%, take that down. Here is the mannequin in simple shapes and muscles. Nicely done. Now it's time for freestyle. So next up is freestyle. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different, something that I usually, don't do on camera. And that is fan art. Yes, I know. So today, as you can see here, we have the Buster Sword. And I think I mentioned earlier in a video that I might do Final Fantasy on the last day. And guess what? It's the last day. I might be misremembering that, but I don't know. It's been 28 days So we have the Buster Sword. And we're going to draw Cloud. So if anyone plays video games, I love video games, and this is Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, designed by, well, this is the original design by Tetsuya Nomura. Right? He designed this character, and we should all be so lucky that our designs last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, that a design can last for a long, long time. This is iconic. Final Fantasy, I think it was 1997 it came out. And in 1997, I wouldn't say revolutionized RPGs and video games, but it seemed like it was so big at the time that games forward, it was like that spark that put RPGs like center stage, when that one time they were fringe. So let's get to doing what we do, right? So let's make a new layer. And how about we first start with some gestures? Let's start off with some gestures. So, for example, let's do the classic pose, right? He's got the sword slung across his back. He's got that dominant leg. That leg that comes, right? A more relaxed leg. And he has, I'd say, some contrapose to him. Dominant hip, dominant leg. And of course, the sword, this huge, called the Buster Sword, slung across his back. And this is the classic pose, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Classic pose. Well, we'll see. What else? I think there's one, like, I like this pose right here, so let's try that out. Go back to my layer. All right, it's got one arm near his head, slightly bent, and he's got this Buster Sword coming off like that. All right. These are just simple gestures. Just sometimes a gesture is a great way to just break down the character mentally and to warm up. And what the design is, he usually has a dominant leg. This one, he has his sword out in front of him. Like huzzah. His arm is relaxed, but slightly tense. But yeah, I like this pose right here. And today, since this is my last Artist Bootcamp, I thought I'd just have some fun. You know, just have some fun. Okay, so brush tool, go to that layer, brush tool, and we shall, and the music, the soundtrack is killer, right? The soundtrack is awesome, but that's just my opinion. So we got circle for the head. Come on. gonna have some slight contrapposto. We'll do the egg shape because he has a very slender frame. We'll do the egg shape for the body. We'll probably do an S curve like this because this is his main leg. This coming off. His hips. Box, box, box. Side plane. Circles for joints. So it's gonna go out and then up. This one's kind of nice, but I think I want it more like the classic. More like that classic. And this coming maybe slightly out. Maybe slightly. Wrist. We have the kneecaps. These baggy pants. It was all the rage in the 90s. Baggy pants, man. I remember I also had cross colors, a pair of blue jeans that were, oh my God, I was swimming in those things. So I can kind of relate. It's a look. It's definitely a look. So his ankles. All right, we're gonna be rough and loose until we clean up, but we have a foot. It's got like that. I think that portion's slightly off, so we'll do lasso. Swooshy swoosh. Command T. Arrow keys up. And sometimes his slenderness makes him look taller than he is. Return and Command D to deselect. Back to the brush tool. Well, actually, one more time for that. The head. Command T. Move that up. Although I'm probably gonna have to shrink him down because he has a lot of spiky hair, and I gotta fit that. Return. Command D to deselect. Back to the brush tool. Okay. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. I can hear the music in my head, even just as I draw this. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness, the power of music. Audio and visuals, man. I'm going up so far off. Okay. Cylinders for his hands, the box, fingers radiating off of that. Maybe I'll adjust it like just slightly. Okay. I'm so off. Out of sorts. It's got the spine. I'm just drawing. Now, Final Fantasy VII isn't the best Final Fantasy. Don't let anybody tell you that. Because I am the Lord of all things Final Fantasy. And number 6 is indeed the best one. Don't let anybody else tell you differently. Right? If you find somebody that says 7, 10, or 9 are the best, you tell them, just a moment, you are incorrect, sir. You are incorrect, sir. This blasphemy will not be tolerated. And you have just been reported. You tell them that. Okay. These are just jokes, just jokes. Right. All right. So we got the simple shapes. Do we want to do some muscles on top? Why not? Why not? So we'll knock this one down to the 30%. Of course, let's brush tool. Dun, 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 dun. Let's do live stream green. So we have the trapezius, deltoid, clavicle, sternum for the pectoralis. Pectoralis, what am I? Pectoralis across the clavicle, sternum across the ribs into the humerus. We have the bicep. We have on the back the tricep. We have bicep again, brachialis, and the tricep on the back. And we have the radial brachialis, right? From the outside, lower humerus bone, from the outside, coming inside. Right, from the outside to the inside. Flexors and extensors. Flexors and extensors. Latissimus dorsi into the external obliques. The pelvic bone is here. We have the vastus lateralis. You're not going to see any of this under these pants, but hey. Structure, right? Structure. The gracilis. Gracilis. Adductor longus. Adductor longus. Sartorius coming from the hip. Inside. Sartorius. Across the thigh. Towards the knee. Across the thigh. Towards the knee. Rectus femoris. Across the middle of the thigh. Oh, I forgot the rectus abdominis. The rectus abdominis. Upper. Lower. the patella, the patellar tendon, patellar tendon, anterior tibialis, right next to patellar tendon. We have the fibularis longus, right? On the outside, fibularis longus. The gastrocnemius is the calf muscle. Gastrocnemius. Extensor digitorum longus. Between the anterior tibialis and the fibularis longus, right? Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I think this is the first day I actually could remember them all without looking at one. Hey! On the 28th day, of course. Of course. Of course. And that is the muscles of cloud. I think for the first time I'm just gonna take this. I was gonna collapse them into one, but now I'll just leave it. Yeah, but I'll knock it back. V 50%. 7. And a new layer on top of that. The B tool. The B for the brush tool. The B tool. I can't believe I said that. The honeybee in tool. I'm just going to be doing references all day. I'm sorry. I apologize for this silly inside baseball nerdage. So this is the cranium. About the middle. Eyeline, brow ridge, hair. He seems like he has a slightly longer nose. Nose and mouth. And you'll notice the pattern of Japanese anime and whatnot. They draw larger eyes. Yes, the large eyes. The ears are behind. Between the eye line and the nose line. Can't quite be seen. Well, you can see a corner. And let's do I think we'll go to black for our final lines. But he has his iconic hair, which is spiky. The original, yeah, spiky. They've kind of, well, it's still spiky. So he has locks across. And he's known for I used to call it the porcupine, but I don't know what you would call this hair. I don't even know if it has a name. It's just spiky. It's iconic for him. But like everything in real life, the translation is a little unique, let's say. And it kind of comes out feathery on this side. I like drawing other characters to figure out stuff. Should we start with the clothing, or should we save that for the last? Yes. And I wondered when I was younger, how does such a slight man wave around this huge sword? And yes, that is a very, very good question. And it's all about the super soldiers, basically. Yeah, basically, he's a super soldier. Again, I go all over the place. I'm not staying in one area too long. And now that I'm thinking about it, my mind's jumping to different places. But Ichigo from Bleach also kind of has, I don't know why I'm just thinking about that right now. Just something you notice. Yeah, let's start putting his iconic outfit. It's iconic. So the one arm bear, well, both arms are bare, but this one has a. So he's got like a tank top type thing. This one you can't quite see, but you know it's there. Right? But he has this plate thing on him. And it has 3 bolts. Is it 3? I think, yeah. Coming off of it for, I would say reasons, which as an artist, that's all you need. It's like reasons. Just, he does. Suspenders. But I think there's also this part on his arm guard. What do you call this? Shoulder pad? Arm guard? I don't know. And he has this stomach band that goes around. What is it about? Yeah, pectoralis. Yeah, about here, I guess. He's so fancy, he has 2 belts. When one belt won't do. That's another thing about was it the 90s? Lots of belts. But it actually kind of seems like his belts are up just a little bit higher. let's just. Alright, so we'll move this up a little bit to make room for his belt. And of course, the iconic baggy pants. A product of the 90s. It's so ridiculous. In a cool way, right? It can be ridiculous, but in a cool way. This is taking me back to when I used to read old school EGM magazines. Video games had memory cards. Oh my goodness, memory cards. It was ridiculous. And you couldn't remember what game you had on what memory card. When the magazines had a game with it, like a demo disc. Man. He has a glove on this hand, but he has a metal band, I don't know, over this leather glove. I'm guessing counterbalance maybe, but maybe that's just, defense. Just bouncing around. Hell. If I become non-responsive, I'm either focusing or something, or I'm thinking of something too silly to repeat. Either one of those. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Let's take him down a bit, because we're running out of room. Hold up. Deselect. Select all these layers, and now let's do the muzzle. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Now gravity, and all of it comes with me. We good? We look. All right. Actual tool. Alright, crap. I forgot. Deselect. We only need that layer. Alright. Command E. Da-da-da. Back to the brush tool. Looks like he has some cloth and then his band. It's like an hourglass or something. Doo-doo. Let's block in this sword. Okay. Cloudy cloud. Let's see if we can. Okay. So, brush tool. Let's block in some of this. And he always looks like he's slightly scowling. Like he has no time for game. I got no time for games. But he plays a lot of games in the game. Which I don't know how to explain that. A lot of mini games in this game. He's got some around his face. And it covers most of his head and ear. These cars, man. Though I have to say his motorcycle is awesome. Because every hero needs a badass motorcycle. Or something. Whoa. I just noticed the time. Where does it all go? Now all that is left is cleanup. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. Trey, why would you say something that's not true? Because I thought it was true at the time, but it's not. He has metal fingers. I don't know if that's the first time I'm noticing that. Well, metal of the glove. Not, metal fingers, but metal. Let's get this head under control. Should I flatten it and erase it? Why not? If you're going to merge layers, you have to take all the layers away so it doesn't. I don't know if that's still the case. This is the way I used to do it. So, right. And now they're all on the same layer. Bring that cloud back. There you go. All right. Let's erase some. Let's say 20%. First, we have the idea. Way back. And these are our new guiding lines. Let's see. Oh. And I have noticed that all of the Final Fantasy, well, not all of them, I guess, but most of them have a not what I said, a beautiful boy look, like handsome men. And it's just something that you notice is, you're like, right? Cloud, and Squall. Who else? I usually have, hell, even Clive of Final Fantasy 16. I was like, oh, okay. That's, I would say something that appeals to the men and something that appeals to the ladies. It's like, I can respect it. Right? Why alienate? We accept everyone here. It's like, oh no. Final 10 minutes. Let's see if we can get some of this. I'm trying not to zoom in and go crazy on it, because that's what I have a tendency to do. Fight it, Trey, fight it. Is that a turtleneck? Why am I just noticing the turtleneck now? Got the two belts. And this waistband that is held up with suspenders. I mean, this man has a look. There's bolts on this arm guard. This kid is so metal. We're running out of time. This is what normally happens. All right, you start to get into it, and then it's time for it to end. It's like, no, I got so much to do. I got so much to do. Okay. I think he's slightly thinner than this. Or I would draw him slightly thinner than this, but we'll do that on another pass. Yeah. Is that the end? I believe it to be so. Put a bow on it, Hodges. Put a bow on it. Okay. All right, so this is a somewhat drawing of cloud strife. I'll probably hit it with some more passes. So let us look at the schedule. Today was the final day of Draw What You Like. We did it. 28 in 28 days. I can't believe it. So as the sun sets on another day, I will say thank you so much for watching and listening to my rambles and all of this. And tomorrow will be no real drawing, but a post-mortem on this whole thing, where I shall go over what my thoughts are on this training regimen, how I can improve it. So thank you, and I will see you on the next video. Take care of yourself. So I'm going to take another stab. I'm going to go for a bit of an hour. There's going to be no sound on this, just time-lapse video of me just rocking with Cloud for a little bit. I have the soundtrack on, and I'm just going to rock out for an hour. Later. All right, and that is Cloud. Thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.